My Cody's my brother-in-law, top lad. Bit grey on the top, waiting for me to go a bit grey as well, inshallah. But yeah, he's my mentor. Everything I know it because of myself, really. Assalamu alaikum. You are 2 miles away, and you're 20 minutes late. So Pakistani that is.
You know how many orders and stuff I had this morning?
This is Brother Rizwan from Euro Quality Halal. Halal, aren't you?
No, lambs.
Oh.
Halal. Alhamdulillah.
Euro quality.
We're here today to see this brother who's going to educate us. This is what it's all about. Educating yourselves and educating myself.
So I'm not sure how much you've covered so far, or what's the...
Yeah, he's covered two teeth and one teeth and no teeth, hoggets and no hoggets, and but he's spoken about the white sheeps. What about the black sheeps?
There's always black sheep in the family, you know? There's always a black sheep in the family. Yeah.
And also, what is the situation with no lambs this year? What can we enlighten the people about?
So basically, I'll stand next to Bill, yeah? So it's good to kind of like have
Double act.
involved in it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. No, but basically, like in the UK, we're actually quite blessed. We got so many variety of breeds all around the country. So UK is evolved with that the breeds have adapted to the different terrains they're on. So up in the Welsh mountains or the Scottish hills or whatever, you've got the smaller type sheep that are more suited to those climates, and then down in the lowlands, you've got the bigger breeds that are more suited to the lush grass down in the lowlands. So we have over 100 breeds, but there's maybe like 15, 20 main commercial kind of.
Yeah, and a lot of that was down to climate, but also the fact that we as farmers can produce lamb all year round. It's not a closed season.
Yeah.
So we can put lamb on the table 52 weeks of the year, 365 days. And you wouldn't be able to do that if you just had one breed.
Yeah. But with that though, because the British lamb is grass fed, so the majority, what you're trying to do, you are trying to finish off grass as much as possible. So what happens is that a lot of them are born around the February, March, April time. It's throughout this country. So down in the southwest, grass grows the earliest. That's when you have the lambs born the earliest. And as the season moves up north, the lambs are born a bit later. So the vast majority try to have their lambing cycles around about that sort of time, because then, as the grass is growing during the spring, it's the cheapest way of feeding the animals. But throughout the year, there's always lambs born. So you got like a Dorset breed, you got other breeds that do lamb right across the season. It's just that it's cheaper for it to lamb at the time when the grass is growing, so that those lambs, as they eat and grow up, they are then purely 100% grass fed, and it's cheapest to finish the stock as well. And because of that, it just means that the volumes of lambs that are coming through, there's very few that are born at the eligible time. It doesn't mean that there is none. And this is because there's so few, you have to be very, very selective about which areas you buy them from, the people you buy them from, and what's their supply chains in terms of where those animals originally came from, the size of the animal. You do, in the UK, if you look at the whole season, the average UK lamb is slaughtered at 6.5 months of age. This is throughout the whole year, weighing 40 kilos. So the live weight of 40 kilos gives you a good indication as to what that potential size might be. And one of the things that people talk about from a Qurbani perspective is that what's the actual criteria mentioned in the hadith. So actually talks in the hadith, it talks about musinna. So when you slaughter for Qurbani, slaughter a musinna. A musinna, just for your benefit, is an Arabic term that actually means anything that's erupted through teeth.
Right. Yeah.
And because for Qurbani we can actually do camels, cows,
Yes.
or sheep.
Yeah.
It's interesting that because the musinna for camel is actually 5 years. That's when they erupt their adult teeth. And for cattle, it's around 2 years.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's why we have our eligibility of cattle need to be at least 2 years old. The starting point for sheep and lambs is musinna, which is 12 months, but there's an allowance for what's called the jaz'a. A jaz'a is basically a baligh animal. It's an animal that has gone through puberty as a sexually mature. So it's capable of having children, but it's not erupted the teeth to become an adult. If you think from a human perspective, children that go to secondary school, they'll be baligh. But you don't classify them as adults until they're 18 and they can vote and do all the rest of the other things that they do.
You agree with him, Bill? You're looking at him like...
Yeah, well, this is all that part of the new to
This, yeah,
these are the terms that would be terms of idea. But yeah,
but in our
So for
trade,
an animal ready for Qurbani has to have 2 teeth.
no, that's a starting point.
Oh, that's a starting point.
But for lamb, there's an allowance to go for a jaza.
Okay.
The jaza is a baligh, like a sexually mature animal that hasn't got the 2 teeth up, that's permitted to be slaughtered. But a jaza for a cow, or for a goat, or for a camel is not permitted. It's only purely for sheep.
Okay.
some afterwards, which would be 6 months of age, and you will see that their testicles are formed. You can see they would be okay for that job. They're 6 months of age, but they're not like those. The issue here, as I was saying, is that they go too big.
Yeah.
From our point of view, we wouldn't be keeping 1,000 like that.
Exactly.
They're just too big. They need to get a house and a home.
Yeah.
And when the market was where it was in March, April, we could sell them for £130 then. So if you kept them from then till now.
This is the important thing for our brothers and sisters to realise is that, for Qurbani, because we want to slaughter the best animals for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but if you look at the cycle here, the prices are such that after Easter, so Easter and May time is when the prices are highest in the sheep season throughout the year. And around September, October time is when the prices are lowest. One of the reasons is that there's less supply available at that time and there's more supply available at September. In July time is when the price actually falls the most.
Okay.
So you imagine a curve, and I'll show you the graph that you can take a picture of it. There's a kind of a curve to it. This is an average season. Each season might be a bit different. And then there's a steep fall because as more and more supply is coming out, the
Supply and
price
demand,
falls,
yeah.
So from a farmer's perspective, if he might have great quality animals born exactly the right age, but when the price is really high, why would they hold it on when the price is going to fall? Thing to clear. Do we wait, maybe put on a bit more weight on the animal and sell it at Qurbani time, but we know the price is going to be lower because as we do it longer, the price is going to be lower? Or do we just take the big money now, even though it might not be the full weight that they might ideally have sold it to? This is purely commercial decision, and this is looking at if we can try to attract the Muslim customers to say, look, can we actually forward contract with farmers? Can we look at booking them in advance and actually having arrangements with farmers and sort of say, look, we will sort out the prices to make it worth your while. Let's just go for the best quality animals that we know at a shadow of a doubt is born at a certain time, and offer them to the people, but they've already got deposits paid on them, so we can then have some sort of build up like that.
So that's the way forward, inshallah.
I think so.
It's certainly a possibility, and we remember, we are here as long as the welfare of the animals is paramount to us as a farmer.
Absolutely.
Financial, obviously, it's got to pay its way. We've got bills to pay, wages to pay, has to pay its way. But we only get one chance to sell that sheep, that lamb, one chance. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's no good saying afterwards, oh, we should have kept it. It's gone. Okay, so that's your harvest for 1 year.
They kind of see things like what we take for granted, right? When we had the floods, okay, that affects the grasslands that are out there. Yeah, that affects
The
how
feed.
these animals eat. It affects how the muscle grows on them. Little things like that. We're thinking about other things, but how it affects the actual finishing of the animals, we don't think about. When it's a really hot summer, the grass doesn't grow so well. It actually burns out. Now they've got to bring them in and try to have some hay and stuff to feed them more indoors. All these things, there are variables that happen in the season that affect the
price.
finish of the animals, it affects the price, it affects the...
The majority of British sheep farmers recognise that the Muslim market is hugely important to our business.
restaurants and stuff. But what we're finding now, particularly us, as we're finding more and more the younger Muslims are interested in quality. They're asking more questions about how the animals are kept, what they're being eaten, impact on the environment, how they're being looked after, their welfare.
Whether we could do something, if we can do it this year, it'd be amazing, where we can give somebody 3 pounds of meat, which is well cut, well presented, and you feel really, really happy to give somebody something instead of just a blue bag with some meat in there. So
Qurbani is an act of ibadah for the sake of God. Like it's something that we should be proud of, that we should be proud to be giving this to anyone else. If we were receiving that, we should be like, wow, this is really well presented.
So are you going to set me up some wow Qurbani?
Let's see what we can do.
No, we can do it. We can get some wow Qurbani, because I tell you something, there's a market out there for wow Qurbani. About the fiqh issue on Qurbani. Is it wajib to slaughter and eat from it, or is it from the Sunnah?
There's two things as well. Is it wajib to do Qurbani, and there's a difference of opinion amongst the madhab. Sorry, there's going to get quite technical on it.
Yeah, I mean, that question I was thinking about.
Sorry, Bill. Sorry, that's not to you. Yeah.
But like on the fiqh side, from a Hanfi fiqh perspective, Qurbani is wajib per individual. So every person in the family must do it as a following the footsteps of Prophet Abraham and Prophet Muhammad. From I believe it's the Maliki or the Shafi that says that it's one per household. So they won't say that's one per person, one per household. And one of the other ones, maybe it's Hanbali, I can't 100% remember. They say that it's not even an obligation, it's just a recommendation. So that's from a performance perspective. From then the Sunnah perspective, eating from your Qurbani, that's definitely not a wajib in any of the madhabs, but it's definitely a Sunnah. When you do your Qurbani, you can give it all away in charity, or you can eat all of it. You can give it all away in charity, or you can eat all of it, or you can do the full Sunnah, which is keep a third, give a third to your community, like
And give a third to the
neighbours, and give a third to charity. That is the highest form of Sunnah.
Welcome to the family, Bill.
This is an educational purpose for me. It's interesting. Very interesting.
Guys, you guys look as you the lamb for the slaughters.
Obviously, my driving.
And Adnan's about 4 years old, I think. And brother Rizwan, I think he's probably about 3 years in. Owl looks like the youngest lamb.
Yeah,
And what was that?
very lambs around.
He's a ram. Owl.
Which
just.
one's the teaser?
I'm the teaser. I'm the teaser.
300 acres here.
Oh my wow.
And then we rent, can be anything up to, let me open it, 4,000 or 5,000 acres during the winter period to put the sheep on. Because obviously during the winter when the grass isn't growing, you need more ground. So we rent a lot more during the winter. Family business. I've been involved with the business for the last 24 years. See these here in front of us?
Okay.
Yep. You've got the ones, the two there that have been freshly shorn out in front. They're the mothers.
Okay.
They're the mothers. But
To all these lambs.
these are lambs. The freshly shorn ones are ewes. Okay.
Anyway,
But-
nature's coursing. Take its course.
So the lamb there, we've got two lambs here. Not the fresh shorn. That lamb there, he would be 6 months of age. So the yellow tagging is that here.
Oh, so that indicates the age.
I know from our management, not everywhere, but I know that lamb and where they are. There's 1, 2, 3 there. Okay, they're 6 months of age. The one on the left isn't. Lay down, he's not. And again, when we put them through the computer, they will tell us when they were born. Because the first weigh would be at 10 to 14 days, so we know. Would be certificated as 6 months of age, male. You can see
That one
what
there.
were you referring to, where they were sexually mature enough?
Yeah.
That would be that. You can see the way his testicles are dropped down. He's a ram lamb. And look at this right on camera. Has he got his head stuck in the fence?
What's that?
Or is he just sat there?
He's definitely out of the fence.
He's stuck in the fence. So that's sheep for you. They'll put their head in there. They'll graze what's
I'll get
there.
him out.
They'll get him. Is he okay? Let me see how he gets it up. He might climb his own, he might not.
As you can see, this one's got
The
his
more
head.
that come there, well, the more stressed he gets.
Okay.
So it's just there just for Bill to. All he has to do is just pull the wires across.
See, all they want to do is push forward. They don't realise that they've got to come backwards.
There's no reverse gear.
No reverse.
So Rizwan, could it be killed here if nobody attends to it and it's stuck here for a while?
Like because that's why farmers have to come and check their stock
Check
regularly. But they you'd think that after a while it should be able to wiggle free.